When I refused to give my parents my inheritance, they called me to a family meeting. I showed up with a lawyer and a folder that made my mom cry. My grandmother died 3 months ago and left me everything. Not my parents, not my older brother Kevin, just me. The house, the savings, about $340,000 total. My parents were furious. They'd been waiting for that money for years, already making plans for it while Grandma was still in hospice. The day after the funeral, Dad pulled me aside. "You're going to do the right thing here, Tyler. Split it with the family. We raised you." I told him no. Grandma left it to me specifically. Her will was clear. She'd even written a letter explaining why. My parents had borrowed $80,000 from her over the years and never paid back a single dollar. Kevin had taken another $15,000 for a failed restaurant idea. I was the only one who visited her every week, who drove her to appointments, who actually cared that she was alone. Dad's face went red. "That money belongs to this family. You're being selfish." I walked away. For the next 2 weeks, I got calls every single day. Mom crying about how they needed to pay off the house. Kevin texting about how I was breaking up the family. Dad leaving voicemails about respect and loyalty. I ignored all of it. Then the family meeting invitation came. Sunday at 2 p.m. Important discussion. Everyone needs to be there. I knew exactly what this was. An ambush. They were going to gang up on me, guilt me into signing over the money. What they didn't know was that I'd already talked to a lawyer, not about protecting the inheritance that was already legally mine. I talked to her about something else entirely, something I discovered while going through Grandma's papers. Sunday came. I pulled up to my parents' house and saw Kevin's truck, my aunt's car, even my uncle from out of state. They'd brought everyone. I walked in carrying a folder and my lawyer followed behind me. The living room was packed. Mom and Dad on the couch, Kevin and his wife by the window, aunts and uncles filling every chair, all of them staring at me like I was on trial. "Who's this?" Dad asked, looking at my lawyer. "This is Janet. She handles estate law." "You brought a lawyer to a family meeting?" Mom's voice cracked. "You're treating us like strangers." "I'm treating this like what it is, a negotiation." Kevin laughed. "Negotiation? There's nothing to negotiate. You got everything and we got nothing. That's not fair." I sat down slowly. "Let me guess. You want me to split Grandma's inheritance? Give each of you a share?" "It's the right thing to do," Dad said. "She would have wanted it that way." "Would she?" I opened the folder, because I found some interesting things in her files. The room went quiet. I pulled out the first document. "This is a ledger Grandma kept. Every loan she gave this family for the past 20 years. Dad, you borrowed $80,000 for home repairs and business investments. Mom, you took $12,000 for what you told her was emergency medical bills." Mom's face went pale. "That was different. We were struggling." "Kevin, $15,000 for your restaurant. Aunt Linda, $8,000 for your daughter's wedding. Uncle Ron, $6,000 for that RV you still have in your driveway." I looked around the room. Total outstanding loans to Grandma that were never repaid, $121,000. Nobody spoke. "Here's the interesting part," I continued. "Grandma didn't just keep records. She kept promissory notes, signed by each of you, legally binding agreements to repay these loans upon her death, if not repaid during her lifetime." Kevin stood up. "Those aren't real. She never made us sign anything official." Janet spoke for the first time. "I've reviewed the documents. They're witnessed, notarized, and completely enforceable. The estate has every right to collect." "The estate," Dad said slowly. "Tyler, you control the estate." "Yes, I do." The realization hit them all at once. I watched it spread across the room like a wave. They hadn't just lost the inheritance, they owed money to it, to me. "So here's what's going to happen," I said. "I'm not going to split Grandma's inheritance with people who spent years taking from her and never giving anything back, but I'm also not going to immediately collect on these debts, because unlike you, I actually believe in family." Mom started crying. Real tears this time, not the manipulation kind. "What do you want?" Dad asked quietly. "I want you to leave me alone. No more calls about how I owe you something. No more texts about being selfish. No more family meetings designed to pressure me. I earned this by being there for Grandma when none of you could be bothered." "And if we don't?" Kevin asked. "Then Janet starts collection proceedings. Garnished wages, liens on property, the whole process. Dad, you still owe $80,000. That's enough to take the house." The color drained from his face. "You would do that to your own father? You were going to guilt your own son into giving up his grandmother's final gift. You invited everyone I've ever known to gang up on me. You don't get to play the family card now." I stood up and gathered my folder. I loved Grandma. She saw who actually showed up and who just showed up when they needed something. That's why she left everything to me. I walked toward the door. Mom called out, "Tyler, please." I didn't turn around. 7 months. That's how long you went without visiting her in the nursing home. You've got 7 months before I think about these loans again. I closed the door behind me.